Gus, I see a lot of our current head coaches from different sports and certainly some fans, but thank you all for taking time to be here, particularly you players. Thank y'all.
JG.
JG.
Hey, JG, AuburnSports.com. You probably know me. What really jumped, I know it's weird that what you said. What really jumped out to you when you were interviewing Gus, just kind of thing that really jumped out and you thought, this is the guy I need right here?
You know, when we started this process out, we laid out basically 3 criteria. One is he can win, and he's consistently done that everywhere he's been. He won a national championship here as offensive coordinator. The other is we're looking for a person that would continue the high excellence of athletic, not only athletic, but academic success of our football team and of this athletics department. And then thirdly, is a great ambassador for Auburn. He represents the character and integrity, the same things that wrap the creed up. And that's why it was a unanimous decision to hire Gus, because he exemplifies those 3 characteristics and then some.
Rick Carlin here at Fox 6A. How many did you interview? How many candidates? And again, if you could give us some contract terms.
Certainly, Rick. Thank you for bringing up. Let me start with the contract terms first that were mentioned earlier. The general outline of the contract is $2.3 million a year for a 5-year contract. And we have a memorandum of understanding, and we'll be happy to get that to you all later with the fine details. As far as who else we talked to, out of respect for all the other candidates and the process that went on, we're not going to get into names or talk specifics about the process at all. So I trust that you understand that, Rick.
Jay did.
Hey, Mike.
Go ahead, sorry. Jay, just to go further on the terms, is there also a buyout in this contract and what those terms may be?
They are, and we'll get that to you.
Jay, when did you know Gus was going to be the guy? You said he kept coming back to a guy that had a proven track record of winning and doing it the right way and doing what's best for Auburn. When did you know that Gus was the guy, and when did y'all come to that conclusion?
Well, we came to that, you know, it was a unanimous conclusion. And as we said, you know, we had a chance to talk about a lot of things and a lot of people. But the characteristics that he brought to the table just head and shoulders above everybody else. I'm not sure, Mike, there was a particular time that it did, but this morning I called Dr. Gus and told him of the committee's unanimous choice to hire this proven winner and this great ambassador for Auburn, and he said certainly do so, and so Gus and I began to talk today on behalf of the committee.
Jay, Mike Rada, ABC 3340 Murham.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Jay. I was curious, Dr. Gus in his opening remarks said that he knows this decision will be criticized. I know there was a lot of strong input from various factions of the Auburn family, everybody wanting their guy. Is the family fractured, and how hard will it be to get everybody on board with Coach Malzahn?
We've got some passionate fans, don't we, Mike?
Yeah, you do.
They love Auburn. They love Auburn football. But I know this. I know that the Auburn family always comes back together, and everybody may have their different choices. But when a committee of these 3 guys make a choice and it's unanimous, and Gus represents something, if not all, of what these 3 men represent, the Auburn family will get back together. And they already starting to, just by the reception that Gus had at the airport and things that are happening in social media. Just makes you proud to be an Auburn man. You can have your difference of opinion, but when the decision's made, everybody gets on board, and it's just a great part about being in the Auburn family. Thank you, Mike.
Back right.
Jay, was there an overriding factor in hiring Gus? I'm guessing familiarity with him makes it easier, or was it, or not?
You know, basically, I think maybe Bo and myself were the only ones familiar with him. It's a very objective process, very thorough process, and just those things that we talked about earlier, and then some. You know, his character, and he can win, and how he represents and what he expects from our student athletes. What else?
Any other questions? Mike?
Jay, was it important to get somebody in here before Wednesday, the Super 6, with all the coaches coming in? Was that a time frame that you guys set up, so we need to get somebody in here by X amount of day?
Mike, our time frame was to how long it was going to take to get the right guy. And it was a thorough process, and we got the right guy.
And Jay, also, what's your thought on Gus maybe coaching at Arkansas State in the bowl game? Do you have a thought of that, if you haven't thought of that yet?
We haven't. He hadn't had a chance to talk to their administration, so we'll talk about that later, Mike. But the main thing is that Gus has convinced all of us of is that Auburn's the #1 priority. And having known him and the committee getting to know him, those that didn't, know he's a man of his word, a man of integrity.
Bill?
Jay, having known Gus, I mean, was it as imperative for him to lay out a plan and how everything's going to come together and what all needs to be done?
Bill, I was one of four, so yeah, it was imperative. Me having known Gus had very little, if anything, to do with it. He came in and through the interview process, he laid out a plan, I would say, guys, that was stellar. And it was unanimous choice, and we've got a guy that can, it's going to take a little while. It's going to take a little while. We've got to be a little bit patient. You don't win 3 ball games and all of a sudden you flip this thing around. It's going to take a little time to get his players in here and get the discipline back in the program that he needs, and the X's and O's, and get the right people around this team. But we're convinced wholeheartedly that he's meant to get you guys back to the championship level. It's going to take a little time.
Student James.
Both for Jay and for President Gooch, if you can address this as well. Jay, was it ever expressed to you by Dr. Gooch that your future with the university would be contingent on the success of this hire?
Hey, first of all, any conversations that Dr. Gooch and I have, stay with us. There you go.
Mark?
Bo keeps whispering in my ear these answers. It's really distracting. Y'all don't want to know everything that went on.
Jay, I know you can't talk about individuals, but can you just talk about the scope of the search, like nationwide? Did you get a lot of interest, and just a ballpark figure how many people you really seriously looked at?
We cast a wide net, and Auburn does a great job, and we found that out through this process. So, yeah, we're not going to talk about any particular names, but the only thing we're willing to talk about is our 26th head coach, Gus Malzahn, and looking forward to championships.
John?
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah, Jay, John Taylor with
Hey, John.
Hey, obviously there were some off-the-field problems with this program the last couple of years, and I just want to know how much was that a factor? Did he have to kind of convince you that he was going to keep the discipline, which you just mentioned, and keep the players straight?
You know, John, as we talked about a week and a couple of days ago, you know, all that is a factor. The wins and losses, the discipline, all that comes into play. But when Gus came in and laid out a plan for this committee, he touched on everything that we thought was very important and then some. So it's all important.
That's a long answer for yes.
Up front, JG.
Yeah, it's JG again. Hey, Jay. As far as Gus getting his assistant coaches, just talk about how committed you are to getting him the resources to get anybody he really needs or wants.
Well, we continue to be fully committed to getting the best coaches we possibly can, and that's not going to change.
We'll take a few more. Any others?
I got one.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
My question is for Jay or Dr. Gould. Pat, Mac, and I are wondering, who should we send our bill to?
Send me your bill, I'll write you a check.
Jay, thank you. What we'll do real quick, we're going to do a photo op with the group, and then we'll do